What is going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. I think this is going to be the final boat video for the main boat portion. I'll probably have a couple of other videos. I'm for sure going to do another video on the complete overview of everything that I did to this boat, and then I still have to make a tackle storage compartment and finish a rod locker. So I'll probably have at least 3 more videos after this one, but I want to get this video done. It'll basically wrap up the boat and we'll be able to use it after I'm done with this. So as you guys can see, my new hatch came in today, and I've already got the new front deck plywood cut out. Everything fits up nice. I just wanted to lay it in there, make sure everything fit. And for both the front deck and the main floor, I used the original pieces of wood. They weren't completely rotted out and broken, so I used those as templates to cut out my new pieces, and it worked pretty slick. So now with this new piece, we just have to cut out the hatch, which is gonna go in the center in the rear, so basically right around there, and then the new seat pedestal position, which will be further forward. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to pull this piece of plywood out, we'll get it outside, we'll be able to do some cutting out there, so stay tuned. Alright, got it moved outside, and I just got everything laid out. So I've got a 2-inch space here, and that's where our support underneath the front deck is going to run. And then our 14 by 14 lid. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that out with the jigsaw, and we should be able to drop our new hatch in there. So let's get it cut. Alright, so we got it all cut out, and I drilled all 4 corners with like a 1/2-inch drill bit before I started, just so there's a nice radius there. And now you can see I set the hatch in there and I traced all around it. So the hatch is probably like 1/8 of an inch thick, and I don't want that bump to be up on my deck. So I'm going to go ahead and countersink this whole area about the same thickness of that lip, so that everything sits perfectly flush when it's in there. And I'm going to do the same thing when I put my seat pedestal in. So I'm going to grab my router. Let's go ahead and get this all knocked down, get it all flushed up, and we'll throw the hatch in there, see how it looks. Alright, that turned out pretty slick. You can see it's perfectly flushed up down in there now. So I'm going to add some countersunk screw holes to screw it down. That way when we do our vinyl, we'll be able to wrap it just like we did on the rear deck. Everything should work pretty dang good. And this is an anti-flood hatch. Let me show you here. So it's got the full wraparound water catch, or gutter I guess you'd call it, and then the drain hose. So it should work pretty slick. Keep everything dry up in the front. And I know there's been several of you guys mention those rear hatches. I talked about how it was like 1/4 of an inch gap in between the doors, and if rain or stuff gets in there, I'm really not too concerned with rain going into my live well. It's already filling up with water anyways. And then the rear hatch right where the bilge is, if rain gets in there, that's no worries either. There's nothing directly underneath of where that hatch door is, so if it, it comes down through the gap, drips over the edge and drips straight down, it's not going to hurt anything, and there's nothing back there really that water's going to hurt. So, and then when we pull our drain plug, should all come right out. My big thing I want to avoid is getting a lot of water up here in the front. So for one, this hatch is not exactly, it doesn't have walls that come up all the way to the deck, so there's quite a bit of space there, and there's a lot of pockets, low spots in this foam. You can see all these dark spots. That's where water sits. So it does have the drain tube right down there, which is in the lowest spot, but there's tons of little small pockets where water can sit. So the drier I can keep it up in the front, the better, and this should be a pretty dang good solution. So, but we're gonna go ahead, probably gonna leave the hatch for now, and let's get started on the seat pedestal. So these just use a hole saw, cut out, which fills in this entire pedestal diameter along with the welds, and then we're going to go ahead and countersink it. And this is even thicker. It's more of like a 1/4 inch plate, so we'll get that all countersunk down in there too, so it's everything's level with the deck. Should turn out pretty slick. And then I ordered this hatch with no affiliation. They didn't give me a discount or anything, from Fish On Fabrications. But it's a beautiful hatch. Their welds are all beautiful. It's real heavy duty. So I'm pretty impressed with it. I think it was like $140. So not a terrible price. And they custom built it to my 14x14. And then it did come with the drain tube that you stick in there too. And they will cut out your latch hole, and then I think they'll also drill for installation, but I told them not to do either one. And now I wish I would have told them not to rivet the hinge on, because I'm gonna have to drill all those rivets out when I go to put the laminate or the vinyl on there. So, but yeah, it's super heavy duty, beautiful hatch. So, but let's go ahead, get this seat pedestal going. Okay, I'll give you a quick update. Got the hinge and everything drilled out of this hatch and got all my holes drilled. I'm going to do 4 on each side. So you can see my hinge is going to mount back here. I clearanced all those into the plywood, so when I go to put the rivets in, they should drop right through. So I'm going to go ahead, got stainless screws, go ahead and get this screwed down. And then, as you guys saw, got the spot for my seat post all routed out and flushed up, and I drilled all those holes. So after I get the hatch mounted, I'm going to go ahead and mount the seat post. So let's get to it. All right, just got the front deck all wrapped up. So here's the finished layout of what it's gonna look like. Got the hatch all countersunk, all the screws are in, seat posts all countersunk, got all those screws back in, and we're supposed to get a shower here before too long. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this piece all set up on the sawhorses and try and get it glued here before it starts raining, glued and stapled. That way I can bring it back in and just throw it in the boat and let it dry inside. So we'll be ready to go for this weekend. Hoping to get out, today's Friday, hoping to get out this weekend and do some fishing, and the last piece I was waiting for was this hatch. So like I said earlier in the video, still got other a couple of other pieces to finish up, but the boat will be usable once we get this front deck on. So let's go ahead and do this quick. I'll throw you guys up on a time lapse once I get it all set up, and we'll get the vinyl cut and we'll start the glue process. Alright, we're losing light outside and it just started to sprinkle a little bit, but we got the front deck all done. So you can see the flush mount seat post and then the new hatch opening. So basically I'll do the same thing for this hatch as I did for all the other ones. Clamp it all up all around the edges. This one being an anti-flood, it's just going to go straight down into the side. It's not going to have to go down and around. So basically I'll have to trim it pretty good, but shouldn't be too bad. And then I also have to do this other lid, and you can see my project table that was clear and I was working on inside is now just completely cluttered. So once I get going on the lid, I'll have to clean all this up, but otherwise, yeah, the boat is looking awesome. So that's probably going to be it for today. I'll pick you guys up again tomorrow. Next time you see this, it'll all be clamped up. Hopefully we can get it all done tonight, and then I'll let the glue dry. But you guys have already seen how to do both of these, so I'll pick you guys up tomorrow when we go to do the install and finish off the boat. So see you in the morning. Alright, it's the next morning, guys. You can see, got it all clamped up last night. Both the deck and the lid over here. Obviously way excessive on the clamps here, but I had them sitting there and it'll hold everything exactly in place. So let's go ahead, get her unclamped. And this is the anti-flood drain and hose. And to get it so it's draining outside of my storage compartment, I think I'm going to have to get a little bit longer hose, but should work okay. But yeah, everything up here looks good. So let's go grab that lid, get that all unclamped. Alright, I've got a bit of an issue. Pretty much my first big mistake that I regret that I've made on this. But as you can see, I set my latch too close to the edge and it is interfering with the lip for the anti-flood feature. So basically my only option, I'm not going to move the latch. I like it where it's at. So I'm just going to have to clearance this out. And it's basically just the lip. So it's kind of going to... I'm hoping I can keep at least a little bit down there. That way the water, if there's only a 1/4 inch of water or whatever, will still go to the drain. I think it'll work okay, but if not, I guess if we're ever fishing in the rain or if the boat's sitting out in the rain, we may get a little bit of water in that compartment, which isn't a huge deal. I was trying to avoid it, and that was a mistake on my part. So if you guys are using these 2.5 inch latches, just be careful where you set them. So yeah, we're gonna have to make some clearance down here in this. So I'm gonna go ahead and work on that, and I'll show you guys the finished product because I'm not sure exactly how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna have to look at it some more and kind of figure out a game plan of what I want to do. So don't be like me, don't do that. But after I get that fixed, and then we're gonna mount down the front deck and finish up that front panel, and we should be good to go. So stay tuned. I'll show you guys when I get this finished. All right, got it to work, but totally, and as you can see, it got a lot tighter because the way they had it, it was all evenly spaced all the way around when the hinge was installed. But to wrap the vinyl down both sides, I had to remove the hinge, and then it added that, probably 1/8 inch or whatever. But it's not too tight where it won't open. Once the deck's screwed down, it should be fine. But as you can see, I totally compromised my anti-flood feature. So that's going to be completely useless, but it is what it is at this point. First big mistake. Thought I'd let you guys know so you don't make the same mistake. Double check before you install your latch. Make sure that it's going to clear everything. Huge bummer on my part, but shouldn't have too much effect. There was no hatch there before. It was just this door right here in the side. And so basically the door was on the outside, pointed up, so all the water would roll off the deck, come right down this edge and go under the door and into that hatch there. So this should definitely be more waterproof than what that was, so we'll see. And I really don't fish in the rain too much, and the boat's generally always stored inside, so it shouldn't be too big of a problem. But yeah, a little disappointment, but we worked through it. I ended up using my router and just routing that out. That clearance right there. So it's not bad, but let's go ahead. We're gonna get this deck screwed all down, and then we'll work on that front panel there. So set you guys up on a time lapse. We'll get this baby tacked down. Okay, got the deck all thrown on, screwed down. Turned out really good. I used the wafer head screws on the front deck here. But yeah, she's rock solid. Shouldn't have any problems there. So the last piece to this puzzle now is just this front panel. So let's go ahead, get that in position and get that screwed on. All right, there you have it. She is 100% complete. And as I said earlier in the video, still gonna make a storage box here, and I still have to wrap up my rod locker over there. So I will make another video on those, but those were not part of the original boat. So everything that was part of the original boat, plus some additional modifications that I've made, is now complete. And I've actually even made one more special modification. I'll show you guys in the next video. So thanks guys for stopping by. If you haven't checked out the Facebook and Instagram page, go check them out. I'm dropping photos and videos and other things on there, which you're not going to see in the videos here. So those that are on those, following those pages, they already know what the special modification is, but I will drop it in the next video and show you how I did it. So, but thanks again for stopping by. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We'll catch you guys on the next one.